happy crafters, how are you all? Thank you for joining me in my live studio today. The weather's not the best outside, so it's a nice opportunity for you to sit and put your feet up and enjoy a couple of hours of crafting along with me, Toni Darroch. If you are at work, don't forget you can catch the studio later. It's always there on YouTube, it never goes away. If you are watching on Facebook, don't forget to pop a comment below. Let me know if you've enjoyed the show. Is it a technique you've never seen before? Is it a technique you do all the time? You know, we are all here to inspire each other. So whatever we're doing, it's always nice to pop a comment below and see what's going on. If you are watching over on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button. This lets you know when we are doing things in the studio, so you'll get notifications and things like that. If you click the bell, which is also on there as well, that also lets you know when we're either live or something new's coming, so you'll always be kept up to date as to what we're doing down at Stamps by Me. In today's studio, we're going to be doing a couple of demonstrations using my products and lovely Claire Manning's products. The great thing about today's studio is Create and Craft have been very kind and have given me a fabulous discount code for you all. And what that basically means is anything that's in the show today that I've used, if you go onto Create and Craft's website, basically you pop in the code and you will get a further discount along with your club members discount. Now I've had a look on there today and there are some literally weeks old products, brand new products. So I mean, you can come to me and you can go to Claire's website and you can buy all of them at the going price, or you can make you can go on there and just make the most of the good discount that is on there. There's some of the stuff are already reduced, so you'll get a further discount when you pop it in your basket. So I do encourage you to go over and have a look and see if there's anything on there that's been on recently, particularly with Claire's stuff. She's done two fabulous Christmas launches as well, so you might be able to get your hands on something amazing. So in this video, I'm just going to quickly show you how to work your way around the Create and Craft website to enable you to get your lovely discounts. So to get onto the Create and Craft website, obviously in your search engine, www.createandcraft.co.uk, and that brings up the main home page. As you can see, when you load it up, what you need to do is you need to click Top Brands. So across the top of the engine, search engine at the top, there is a purple bar, and that will take you to something that says Top Brands. If you click into Top Brands, it loads all the fabulous brands that are exclusive to Create and Craft. There are letters underneath, so if you want to skip all the other brands, all you need to do is click S for Stamps by Me. You click the S and this will take you to all the companies beginning with S. All you need to do is scroll down the page and it will take you to Stamps by Me on there. So this is a quick way of searching all of our products. It just takes you to whatever we've taken to Create and Craft, and there are some fabulous products on there, some of which you can't even, you won't have seen for such a long time. There is a tab at the top that says Shop All. If you click the Shop All button, the pages will load and you'll be able to see absolutely everything that's left on there. A lot of the stuff there are only penny numbers, I will pre-warn you now. So if there's something you like, make sure you pop it in your basket. If you are wanting to do this also for Thirsty Brushes products, you can also do the same thing. And this will take you to all her lovely products too. So this will save time when you are searching for our products. Once you see something you like, take it to the checkout and in the discount code pop SBM10. Now Create and Craft have been very kind to give us this discount code, so do make the absolute most of it. It will give you the further 10% discount that you already have as a club member, so you get extra 20% discount. Don't forget you have to log in as a club member. So first of all, before you do any of what I've just said, log in as a club member and then you'll have access to all the things that we've just told you. I hope this works. If it doesn't, you know where we are. So in today's studio, I'm going to be using stuff or products or anything that I know is available on Create and Craft so you can get the biggest discount possible. So I'm going to be using, in my first demo, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to use some of my stuff and some of lovely Claire's stuff. Now, you've probably heard of Claire already. She's one of our great friends here at Stamps by Me. She's a fabulous artist and she creates the most amazing hand-drawn stamps. So if you haven't heard of her, I do encourage you to go and have a look at Claire. She's quite unique in the sense that everything is hand-drawn, very sketchy, nothing like what's already on the market. She produces the most amazing like wreaths and dies, and I'm going to use some of those products alongside my products today to show you that they work fabulously together. We both have a similar style, but both very different in the same sense. So in my first demonstration, I'm going to use some of Claire's Christmas products and some of my latest products. So I'm going to be using this one here. I'm also going to be using Claire's poinsettia outline and her poinsettia stamp. Now, if you've just tuned in, we welcome you here. We do try to inspire everybody. So if this is the first time that you've seen us here at Stamps by Me, grab a cup of tea. It's an opportunity for you to get to know me and probably me to get to know you if you are making comments. So we do welcome everybody. We do try and share everything we do. This is not a hard sell, although we do try and get as many discounts and try and give you as many sales. So for those who've not got the most budget can still get some lovely products. Maybe the inspiration I'm going to show you today will work on somebody else's products. You don't have to have our products to watch this show. Okay, so it's all about the inspiration and not the hard sell. Although we do like you to buy our products, but like I say, it's not about the sale. So in these three products, I'm going to show you how, if you mix them up a little bit and do a little bit of technique, it gives you a completely different look. So first of all, let's move these out of the way. So first of all, I'm going to die cut this in just some white cardstock. Just grab a nice piece of white. Here we go. So I am using my cut and boss today. This is my favourite machine. I do have a snap as well, and these do go through your snap. So if you have a snap, they do work. They don't go in a machine any smaller than your snap though, so just be mindful of that one if you are purchasing them. So it comes on your carrier sheet like so, and I'm going to use the first die. Now this one, if I was just to use this one on its own, it would just cut this lovely detail into the centre of the card. But in today's demonstration, I need it to come out of the card. So I am going to use the second element, which will then take it out of my cardstock. So I'll just set this one aside. Let's just see if the piece of white I've got is big enough. Yeah, it's perfect. So I'm just going to pop it face down onto my plate here, and I'm going to pop the outline around as well. Now if you are cutting two dies at the same time, I do encourage you to tape it down, because if one die goes on top of the other, you'll ruin your dies. And if you're not the most confident die cutter, and I know some of you aren't, just do them one at a time. It's probably easier. So I'm just going to use some low tack tape, just hold it in place. When I'm absolutely happy it's in place, I'll just hold it down. And then we'll just run this through. So this is just 250 white cardstock, nothing thicker. So I know that these dies are available over on Create and Craft as individuals. And I think they come in a pair, but there are some individuals available. So if you are just thinking about getting one pair, then you can do that. You know, that if you like them all, there is the collection there, and there's a 20% obviously off that as well, which is fabulous. So, and it's fantastic of Create and Craft to do this for us. So we will, hopefully it will work, and if it does work, we'll try and do it more often for you, because we do appreciate you tuning in week on, week out, and watching us here at Stamps by Me. I appreciate you, you appreciate me. I think that's how it works, doesn't it? So I'm just going to take this off my plate here, and you can see there all the elements will just pop out. And what we're going to create is a Christmas card. I know this is not a Christmas die, but I am going to make it a bit Christmassy, and you'll see how in a second. Just pop all those lovely little bits out. The great thing about these dies as well is they've got some embossed detail on there as well. They've got like the lines in the trees, and if you ink over these, it does pick up that detail as well, so it's not just like a flat die. So for this next technique, I'm going to need a bit of paper. So I'm just going to grab a big piece of paper. Just go with this one for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this lovely and glossy and sparkly. And the way that I'm going to do that is by using some clear embossing powder. And I'm also going to use a little bit of gold. And it will come to fruition why in a second. So I have a Versamark ink pad here. These are available on the website. They might even be available on Create and Crafts too, so you might get a further discount, so have a look. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to squidge this on top of this die cut here, all over. Make sure it's all covered and sticky. There we go. And then I'm just going to get a piece of cardstock. I'm just going to pop this clear embossing powder on there. And what this is going to do is it's going to take our matte finish from just general cardstock to a shiny finish. Now you can't see it at the moment, but it will be shiny when we heat set. So I'll just hold that with my tweezers a little bit there. And then I'm just going to get my gun hot. And we'll make this go lovely and shiny. Not sure whether that's showing very well, but it is going shiny. So you can do with this you can do this with lots of styles of dyes. Looks fabulous on black. So you know, if you wanted to create like a glossy finish, you could do that too on black. It looks fabulous. So you just tilt it to the side a little bit, and if you've got any like matte areas, you know it's not completely cooked. So just give it a shine in the light. Oh, there we go. You can see how glossy it is there when I put it in the light. It looks beautiful. So if you used like a sparkly one or something, it would do the same. So I'm just going to set this aside, and I'm going to do it again. Now you're probably thinking, why on earth is she doing it again? Because I'm going to double emboss. So this is a thick gloss rather than a thin gloss. So I'm just going to pop it back onto the piece of cardstock that I was working on, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to do it again. And what this is going to do, it's going to then look like an enamel piece of card. It's going to look like it's got enamel on there when really it's just double embossed. Get my cardstock back. So what I'm going to do before I put the clear on though is I've just got this gold embossing powder. I'm just going to pick some out with my finger, and I'm just going to randomly drop it onto the project. So what this will happen is it will give me random spots of sparkle. On there. Set that aside and just pop the lid on that because I will knock it over. It's inevitable. And then with the clear, I'm just going to throw the clear on top too. Now don't do what I've just done there, guys. I've just poured my lovely clear embossing powder onto that mess of gold underneath, so I'm going to have a bit of a mix. So I won't be putting this back into my clear pot. Make sure you clean it so you end up with something that looks gorgeous like this. I mean, it's not showing very well on camera, I don't think there, but it's going to look gorgeous. I'm just going to set this aside because it's a mix now. So don't you do that at home. It's a waste. So we need to heat set this one, and what this is going to do is it's going to give us like a double emboss. Can't get the lid on that for some reason. So I'll get my gun hot. And as it changes, what happens is that gold gets sparklier and the clear will like encapsulate it within. And what you'll end up with is like a bit of a marbly effect. I will hold it up when we're finished so you can see the true effect, because it is really lovely. And you could just keep going and going and going, and in the end create something that looks absolutely gorgeous, like really thick. Let's see if it's sure. Can you see that there? Is it showing? Try my best to show. Yeah, there you go. You can see it looks enamelled. It's really, really beautiful. So if you have got some clear embossing powder, I do encourage you to try this technique, because it does give your artwork sort of like a different feel. So I really like that. I really love that technique. So let's just set this aside. So next step, I have a piece of watercolour card from our Carter. The Carter, ladies and gents, is available on Create and Craft. So 20% discount, why not? So stock up on this one, because this is going to be probably a staple item you will use all the time. So I have the lovely poinsettia from Claire's collection, and I'm just going to, which one shall we do? Let's do the big poinsettia, for example. I have already done them ahead of time, but I will show you how amazing they are. The Eureka is also available over on Create and Craft with a 20% discount. So, food for thought if you are thinking about it. So I'm just using my anti-static bag there. And again, the clear ink. And I'm just going to ink this one up. And because I'm stamping onto watercolour card, I am going to go in and repeat the process, maybe 3 times, just to make sure I have got even coverage on there. Because there is a slight grain to our watercolour card, so I just need to make sure I get in all those nooks and crevices and make sure I get a clean, crisp image. Although that is going to be hard to achieve with Claire stamps because they are sketchy drawings, which is fabulous. Very talented young lady. So I think we'll go with that. This is just for an example, just to show you anyway. So, you know, we'll just go for it. I'm just going to use the gold. See how lovely that is. It's really, really lovely. So we'll just quickly heat set this one. Make sure my gun's hot. And then you get this beautiful, it's quite a big one as well, let's just see. 10 centimetres, so it's not for the faint-hearted. There we go, you can see how lovely that is. So this one does come with the coordinating outline, which is fab. So you haven't got a fussy cut, or faff, should we say. So just for speed, I'm just going to do this one out of the set. But ahead of time, I've done lots, because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them. So I'm just going to get rid of this low tack tape, because it is no longer low tack. It's actually lost its tack completely. So the discount code lasts until the 4th of September, which is amazing. So it does give you the opportunity, if you haven't got time today or, you know, time tomorrow, don't worry about it. We did ask specifically for it to last a little bit longer than just the studio. We do appreciate people after work to pay for these things. So we did ask that it would last longer than the live studio, and they have been kind enough to say yes. So they've said until the 4th. So nobody's going to miss out. So I'll just run this through the die cutting machine. Let's pop this back on the carrier sheet. And then you get this beautiful poinsettia, it's fabulous. So I'll just set those aside for now. So over on the website also, they have a few of our Generation Inks colours. Now I know there's not a lot, and they're a fabulous price again. So I'm going to be using the Generation Inks. And ahead of time I have started to colour some of them. Can we see this here? So stepping away from your traditional reds, we're going for pinks and purples. So I'm just going to show you how I create this sort of like loose colouring effect. Now I've done like a wet in wet technique on this. Now you're probably thinking, oh, wet in wet, that's what I do all the time, and that's amazing. But if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you right now. So basically it's wet in wet, so you wet with the area where you're going to paint, and then you drop the colour in. Try not to control it, because you're not going to win, okay? There is only going to be one winner, and it won't be you when it comes to watercolouring. So I'm just going to grab my Eureka, and I'm just going to use the lid of my Eureka just to demonstrate this for you. So as you can see, I've cut a whole host here from that lovely stamp set. So you have like the large leaf. I love large foliage. I absolutely think it's amazing when they are huge like this, because there is so much you can do with them. Snip into them. So we're just going to quickly run through a bit of colouring with these. So I'm just going to pop a bit of purple on my door. See how much I use my purple, it's nearly gone. A little bit of fuchsia and some green. So I hope you're enjoying today's studio. Let me know if you are, because I can't see the comments. I just stand here and just hope that somebody's watching or listening. So we'll go for the ones that I've started, because I know you don't want to watch me colouring all day. So wet in wet. So I wet the petal of the flower just with some clean clear water, and then we pick up some of the lovely colour and you just drop it into the water. And can you see, did you see how that moved? It just did its own thing. So I'm just dropping it in. If you can leave white spaces, if you have the courage to leave white spaces, please do so. So I'm going to come into this one, so I'm just wetting the full petal, picking up some of the pink, and I'm just dropping it in. And then we'll go do the other two. And then drop in the pink. The water will only carry it where there's water. So it won't go outside the lines, it will only go where there's water. So if you paint within those lines, the embossing powder acts as a resist anyway. but it will only go where you've put the water. So that's the pink laid down. So then now I'm going to go and get some of this lovely purple, and I'm just going to drop some purple in random in a line from the centre and just let it mix itself. That's it, that's that absolutely done. I'll lift it up for you so you can see how loose it looks. So these are the ones that I've just done. They need time to dry. Just add a little bit of colour in that bit there. I'm just going to set that aside. So I will end up having to blast them off with my gun. So let's just do these ones again. So I've just got a wet brush. I'm just adding some water to the petal. Pick up some of the pink and just drop it in. Clean my brush. Water in. So I go around them all, pop all the pink in all of them, then I go around them all and just add a little bit of purple. And always with watercolours, they always dry back way lighter. So if you pop it on and it's a little bit dark, don't worry about it, it dries way. As you can see from the other petals I did before coming to air, they dry so much lighter. There we go. So I'm just going to set that one aside. So we've got two of the large flower heads going on. Then we have these wonderful big leaves here. So I'm just going to literally go for it with these. I love these. These are huge. So I'm going to wet the whole leaf. Now because I'm working on Carter, the water stays wetter for longer because it's watercolour card. It has high cotton content. So it gives me plenty of time to play, move, add colour, take colour away. And this, like I said, is available over on Create and Craft. So pick up some of this lovely green and watch what happens when you drop it in. I just touched the card and now it's carrying it all the way up. Flicking motion, do as you please really, but try not to control it. Just leave it as loose as you possibly can. Now I'm going to leave that one. And I'm just going to wet the whole of this one. I'm not adding lots of water, but enough so it'll carry my colour around. And pick up some of the green. You see there? It's just doing its own thing. If you want to take the colour right to the edge, you can, but I always find that the colour does that itself. It goes exactly where the water goes, so I wouldn't confuse yourself by trying to keep it all within the lines. I'm going to leave those pretty loose. So also in the set then we'll get these wands as well. So they're a different formation, which is great because you can create a nice bouquet. So just put them over a little bit. We'll just do these two quickly. So I'm just going to go and wet all the petals quickly. Leaves, sorry, not petals on this one. Then we'll just drop the green in. I think that's enough. So you can just keep dropping colour in and making it as dark or as light as you want. So if in the moment you drop a little bit too much colour in and you think, say for instance this one here, can you see how dark it is? Albeit I would normally leave it, but I just want to show you something. That's quite dark. So to take some colour out, all you need to do is just completely dry your brush off, take all the water out of your brush, and this is called a thirsty brush technique. My brush is dry now, practically dry, so to take some of that colour out, all I would do is run my brush across it and it'll take the colour back out. Did you see that? So you don't have to get your tissue and start dabbing. A dry brush, the bristles in your brush will just suck up the colour anyway. So let's see where we're at with all this. So we've got two large poinsettias, we've got two large leaves. I'll just budge them over, push them over. We have a small poinsettia here, and then I'm not going to bother. I will quickly colour them because we might use them, we might not. So again, water all over. set them aside. And then we have these berries here, and I'm going to stick in with the theme of the flower colour. So I'm just going to wet them all. I'm just going to drop a little bit of pink in each. And then whilst it's wet, I'll just drop a little bit of purple in as well, in some of them, not them all. There we go. And I think we're good to go on that one. So let's get tidied up. Let's just get rid of this off my door. There we go. And let's just dry these elements off, so you'll soon come to see where this lovely card is going to go. And it won't be right till the end where you think, oh my goodness, it's come together nicely as that one. So let's get our elements. So I'm just going to dry this one off first. Normally I would let them air dry. Just get rid of that little bit of a puddle there, so I'm not going to be drying for hours. There we go. You see, because it's watercolour card, it stays wetter for longer. So in one sense it's amazing, because we like to colour and it needs to stay wet, but then when we want it to dry, it takes longer than your normal card, so you can't win, can you? So that's okay. Very modern card, I think this is going to be. So I've got our lovely 2 poinsettias on there. I'll just hold these by the tips, give these a quick blast. Move them to one side. You see how it's drying so randomly? That's the look I'm trying to achieve. I don't want it to be blended out beautifully. It's such a fabulous technique, is wetting wet, that you just need to let the colour go where it needs to go. And honestly, your cards look truly hand painted then. So let's just do this one. And this one. That's enough of me air drying now, pretty boring. But I did want to show you like the putting in the colour and taking the colour out with a thirsty brush, because I do appreciate we've got new viewers every day, and it is a lovely technique. You don't need to be talented for that to be able to do these things. So I have here a top folding note card with a Gossip glitter gold matte and then some watercolour background there. This glitter card is on Create and Craft, so stock up. So what we're going to do is I have my fabulous marbled heart here, which you can see, and I am just going to go in and stick this absolutely flat. Now the flowers are going to be the focal point on the card, and this is just going to be an accent in the background. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. I'm just going to stick this one absolutely flat. But I'm only going to pop glue down the centres of the trees. I'm not going to go and stick the leaves because I want the dimension from the leaves. I want some of the leaves to stick up. Just gonna grab, oop, won't be a second, I'm just gonna grab some blocks, my favourite friends, and they'll hold my artwork in place whilst it decides to stick. So there we go with that one. What we need to do now is we need to construct these lovely elements. So I am gonna just give these petals a nip, just to create a little bit of dimension on my card. Not too much, you know, I'm not a fan of massive built up cards, it's just not my style. You can build these up as big as you want to though, if you really want to, but I'm just going to give them a tiny nick. So I'm just going to stick this one together. I'm just going to offset it so we get that little bit of dimension. And let's go there. I'm just going to hold it a second while it grabs. Just going to lift these lovely petals up here. I'm hoping that will grab. In fact, let's use our trusted friend. So that's absolutely stuck fine. So you can see that there, how gorgeous that looks. It's really, really is lovely. So let's just, oh, it is sticking. It is sticking, thank goodness. So to get this with a little bit of dimension on here, I am going to use some pads. Now I won't use pads on all of the areas, but I will certainly use pads to raise this element of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this one on this piece here. And then this lovely little one that I've done, I'm just going to nip the pinch the ones of those also. So now I've got my focal point down. It's always good to maybe pop all your elements on and see where your artwork is going, if that makes any sense at all. So I always like to arrange before I stick fully. So have a play, see where it's going until you're absolutely happy. Maybe take a picture on your phone. Don't want to lose the detail in my heart because that's giving it the wintry feel. So I'll go somewhere like that. So what I do then is I take them out and then I glue them one by one back in place. So I'm just going with the glue on these. Not raising them. Don't be scared to build your flowers on top of foliage too. It does give it a more realistic look if you have the courage to do that. So let's stick this one in. I'm going to hang it off the edge because I think that looks quite cool, keeping the detail in the heart. So I'm just going to trim this one down a little bit so our bouquet is not overwhelming. And it'll go further in. Can you see that there? And just tilt it. That's coming together okay. And then these little elements I'm going to pop on top. I absolutely get lost in building floral bouquets. I'm absolutely into it at the moment. Do you know where sometimes you go in and out of phases with your card making? I'm absolutely into building things at the moment. So I have some extra ones here, but I think that's enough. I mean, you could absolutely go to town with this. So just make sure they're all sticking, grabbing. And then in the centre of this little poinsettia here, you could pop a really big embellishment if you wanted to, but I think that's going to take your eye from where we need to look. So I'm going to pop something slightly smaller in there. Maybe some clear ones, there we go. Just to give that sparkle, but not take your eye off what we're trying to achieve. It's very warm in here today, everything wants to stick to me rather than to my artwork. There we go. Make sure everything. So I think we're going to take a short break. Please bear with us, we're having a few difficulties with a few things. I don't think they are visible to yourselves, but we are having a few difficulties here. So I hope it's not affecting you at home. And just to rectify, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a short break and try and sort out the few gremlins that we've got going on in the system, and we will come back to you once we've got those sorted. Please sit tight, we're not going to be long, just a couple of minutes just to sort out the gremlins in our system. I will speak to you all in a bit. Join my journey of colour with Scintillate, my glittery glue with a difference. So it comes within this clear bottle so you can see the colour within. There is a wide range of colours. The colours are covered over a course of varying sized glitter, varying shapes, varying sizes, varying colour. You can dot, you can dash, you can draw. You can create beautiful 3D images, and I'm just going to show you exactly what you can do with this product. So once you've coloured the whole of your project and you've let it dry, you will end up with something that looks sparkly, 3D, and this Scintillate will illuminate your artwork. Looks like I'm back already. Right, so nearly caught me out there, didn't you, saying, is there any chance I could pop to the toilet? But anyway, so the gremlins are causing a few problems. We have a code that is only working on a few products. I'm not even sure if it's working on Claire's products, but all the same, the studio is going to continue on. So in the meantime, just bear with me and I'll continue on as if nothing's ever happened. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. If you were watching earlier, brilliant. You haven't missed much, just this card. I will quickly complete it and then we'll move on to demo number 2. If you are having problems, please just bear with us. Creating Craft are running around as well, trying to sort it all out. These things do happen. You know, we do try and make sure everything runs smoothly, but it doesn't happen all the time. And it's the first time we've done it, so whatever the gremlins are today, they will be sorted for next time. So I just started popping some gems in the centre of this lovely poinsettia, and as you can see there, it looks really beautiful. I'm not going to do anything else with this card. I will finish with the gems and I will embellish accordingly, but you can see just by nipping the lovely petals you can get a card that is like going to look stunning on your mantelpiece. Give that a good pinch and a push and you'll get some dimension in there. Look at that. Looks really, really lovely. I'm going to move on because that gremlins have sort of like distracted me a little bit and I need to get back on track. So if you are watching for the first time, welcome back. It's not always like this, I do promise you that. So in my second demonstration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Christmas baubles. Now, as I've said, the discount code lasts until the 4th of September. If we're having problems, just write down what you like. We'll get it sorted, okay? We're doing our best. So I have the lovely Christmas holly and the Christmas birds. I love the birds, so we're going to go with the birds because these are very traditional and these are a little bit different. So I have here a piece of cardstock, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut the outline of the baubles out on this cardstock. Now this is going to be the front of my card, so I need to make sure whatever I do, it's going to be neat and tidy, so try and get them all level if you can. The great thing about the baubles is they come with the outlines, but you don't just get one because one outline fits them all, you get them all. So you can create these lovely like aperture cards, not with having to pass through one, swap it around. You've got them all in there. So I'm just going to do like as if you would see them dangling on a tree. And what I'm also going to do, yep, we can do it. So I'm just going to twist that round a little bit. I shall tape it down because I have a funny feeling with how today's going, we might have a drama. So I'll stick that onto there. Move that one in slightly and we'll make sure it's straight. Excuse my head. We'll stick that one there. So I have this lovely mirror card, metallic card. Stand by for this because it's lovely Claire's. So I'm just going to pop them to the side of my plate. Just push that into shot. Pop them to the side of my plate because the best cutting area on your plate, for whatever reason, is down the side of your plate. And because it's a little bit more detailed, I've popped them to the side. So everything's held in place, so we should be good to go. So I'll just run this one through. That should be fine. So the only thing that we had to worry about today in studio was whether my son was not going to be popping his head in the door and causing me pain in any sense, and the only thing that has been good today is my son. So hey, never mind. So this has cut out this bauble, which I will save. We're not going to use it, but I will save it. Make sure I don't tear my card. And then we'll just take this off here. This is going to be the front of my card, so I don't need it to tear the front of my card. So I'll just take this one off carefully. And then we have our like apertures within our card there. So we'll just set these aside. So that's those. And then here are our lovely baubles. They should just pop out. And pop all the little bits out. And get this lovely, can't see it on there. Let me just grab some colour so you can see actually how amazing these baubles are. There we go. Really, really lovely. Just get rid of that low tack tape on there. So I've done the bird ones, but you could, if you might already have all of this stuff. You might have spent your money ages ago and actually sat today sitting tight thinking, well, do you know what, I don't care if studio goes a mess because I've got all my stuff at home and I can get it all out right now if I wanted to. So if you have got all your stuff, that is lovely. You will be able to just do as you please and create some amazing stuff instantly. So I'm just going to try and tap this out. There we go. And just pop all the pieces out. Just give them a good old push through. I did say I was doing the birds. But here I have the mistletoe, so there we go. See how lovely that is. So you take your time at home popping out all of the bits and really just enjoy them. Take out that little notch at the top. So we'll just get rid of these two. Try and keep as tidy as possible so we know where we're at with it all. So we have our lovely window here. This is going to be the front of our card. Then I have another piece of white cardstock here, and I'm just going to lay it on, and I can see the area where I need to pop some colour. So the way that I'm going to pop some colour is just by using my everyday ink pads, which is our Generation Inks. Use what you have at home. If you have something in your stash that absolutely works, use them, because you'll still get the same effect really. So I'm just going to, if I can, if I've got something to hand. No, I haven't. But anyway, so let's pick. I'm having a pink and purple moment this week. So we have fuchsia and the purples. Now I'm not going to go dark. So I have an idea of where I need to pop my colour. So I would suggest you go on with your colour and then keep lining this up to make sure you've got colour in the areas where you want it. So let me just grab this piece of paper here. So I'll just, 1 second, make sure I've got something that's right. You see, I'm so frugal with my lovely patterned papers that I don't want to use any of my patterned papers. There we go. So I have a piece of scrap here. So I'm just going to set my ink pads out, and I'm just going to sit the white cardstock on top of this piece of scrap here. So let's go with the fuchsia first. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of colour in this area here, very, very lightly. I'll get rid of the excess on the scrap, and then I take it to my cardstock, and that gives me a nicer finish, I find. So I'm doing it in a circular motion because I'm trying to fill this aperture here. And then when you line your front of your card up, I can see I've got the colour behind there, what I need. So let's go with a purple. This little area. Now you could absolutely do ombre effects, coloured effects. I'm just going with the one colour for speed today. But you get the idea of, you know, what sort of things you can achieve, even though I am only using two colours myself. I think, you know, you could swap the colours out and do whatever you wanted to. So I am doing it quite pale, but I do still want it to pop. I absolutely love these brushes, they are amazing, but boy do they give me cramp. The handles give me cramp, but I won't stop using them because the brush end is amazing. So we can see there we've got some lovely colour behind it. It looks actually like we've got a little bit of spotlight in there, isn't it, with the, I'm just going to go with that. So let's clean this station down a little bit. So before we start sticking anything together, we just need to be mindful, if you are going to pop a sentiment on there, you need to do it first before you start sticking these together. So let me just see if we have a sentiment from one of Claire's sets with me. No, so I'm not going to pop a sentiment on. So let's move these two out of the way. So I have here a card with, I've done it a little bit different, it's not a top folding, check me out, I am doing something different. So, and I've popped some of the lovely Gossip glitter card on there, and I'm just going to stick this flat into the centre here. Like so. And we have our lovely aperture window. So you can see how it's all coming together there. Can we see that there? So on the reverse of here, I am going to pop some pads because I'm going to raise it. It needs to be raised to get the effect that we need for the dimension. So I just need some pads. So I'm going to try and get as close to them baubles as I can so it don't sink. You could double pad if you wanted to give you that extra absolute lift. Oh. These baubles lend themselves so well to shaker cards, you know, with the acetate window. I'm just going to pop one in the centre there so the centre of my card doesn't sink. I'm just trimming these big pads down for speed really. Pop one there, look. And we'll pop one there. So just take all the pads off. And then we're just going to stick this over, hiding the ugly makings underneath. Oh, make sure I'm in shot. Excuse the head. So you have like this lovely raised element there. And the lovely pieces that we cut, we are going to stick back in. Just pop all the bits out so you get a true. I'm just going to use our PT because it's got the precision tip. This is going to allow me to get coverage on every element. So the bird's wings, the little leaves. And gently around the edge so we don't get the splurge. I'm just going to pop this one in this recess here, look. Just give it a second to grab, push it down. You have to be very careful with glue and glitter card and glue and metallic card because you get awful marks. It's very difficult not to do it, but if you're careful you will get away with it. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? So let's get this one in the top, and again I'm just being very careful not to over glue. You don't need a lot anyway, it will stick, and then just on the leaves as well. And then we'll just stick that one in there like that. Just give it a second to grab. This is very like classic looking card. These look really, really elegant. Now you could pop some strings up there. If you could have wrapped some, let's just get rid of that awful mark. Hopefully, there we go. You could pop some strings around there, make it look like it's dangling from a tree. I'll just show you how gorgeous that, look at that. It's a really, really good technique, and you could get your fine liner pen and do a wiggly line all the way up, and you could add sparkle, gems, whatever you wanted to do. I'm going to leave that as is and come back to and do my third demonstration if that's okay, because time's passing on and I still think we're having a few gremlins, so I hope you still are watching and I'm not talking to myself, so I'll just set that one aside. So we've done 2 cards using my products, and on the other card my products and Claire's products. So in this next one we're just going to use Claire's products, so let's see what we're going to do. So for our next demonstration then we're going to use some more of Claire's new releases. I think this might have, I'm being told this might have already gone on Create and Craft, so you were quick. But I'm still going to demonstrate it because I've done all the hard work, so if you did manage to get it, well done. So I'm going to be using this one here and the coordinating die. So let me show you how amazing it stamps. I'm not going to heat emboss it, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it, just so you can see how lovely it is. Now I am using the Carter watercolour card again, and I am using the Eureka. So this stamp is big, as you can see. So I'm just going to stamp this one out in black. And just ink it up. So because I'm going to be watercolouring, as always, I am using a waterproof ink pad. These are available on our website, and it is the VersaFine Onyx Black. Give this a good old push down, and there we go, you get this like beautiful wreath, and it doesn't really matter which way you position it either, I don't think. She's drawn it in such a way that it doesn't matter if you have the embellishment to the left, the right, the middle, it doesn't really matter. And if you were to layer build, you would have a full poinsettia here. Just bob that on there. So we have on the website, or Create and Craft have on their website, the monochromatic inks. Now when you see them all in colours, just on a standalone, you can't even tell what they are. And I think this is why people don't buy them, because you can't tell. Look at that. They all look like exactly the same colour. And this is why I always encourage you to do a swatch. Swatches are the best thing ever. You can see what colours they are. You know what's going on. So I have MCO1, a lovely, lovely dark green. And then let's go for MCO3, which is an aqua blue. So I'm just going to show you what colours they are. So this is the aqua blue colour, look. You can see how lovely these colours are. Now we created these for the gents cards, the monochromatic range, but they can't honestly be used. This is like a lovely, really deep navy colour. Can you see that there? Little goes a long way, as you can see. But they're a beautiful set of colours. So this one that we're going to do is going to be non-traditional. So on this one though, seeing as we did the wet in wet on this card here, we just drop the colour in and you get this sort of like very loose look. What we're going to do now is we're going to paint it in naturally. So as if you would pick up a brush and just paint it. So I'm just going in here. Now, to be honest with you, I could do with a smaller brush right now. That is too big. So let's swap that one out. There we go, that's better. So I can get in with all the detail in here. Now, if you've got our brushes from Create and Craft, you will know, you will have a size 2 in there. That's probably perfect for the detail in this stamp. So if you like clean, lines, no like splotches or blending, then this is the way to go. Just paint direct to the stamp. And you can go as light or as dark as you want to. Take it really, really light so you have a pale look, or go as dark as you want to. So this one is going to be quite a modern card again. So stepping away from your traditional reds. So in here I'm going to have a blue poinsettia. I don't actually know if there is such thing as a blue poinsettia, but in my card making there is. So I'm not going to colour it all and bore you all, because you've seen me colouring once already. So very quickly. So this is just painting direct. So if you like the more smoother finish, do you know what though? You're never going to know what you like until you pick up that brush and try. So, and probably what you think you might like, you're probably not going to like when you try it. So until you pick up that brush, you'll never know. So you get the idea. Let it naturally air dry if you want to. This lovely stamp comes with a coordinating outline, and I'll show you the outline here. So it cuts out the whole outer circle and around the lovely flowers, which is amazing, and it's a big old die as well. So let's just set this aside, pop that on the floor for now. I'm running out of space. So here is one that I coloured before coming to wear, and I popped some sparkle around that. Can you see that? So I used MCO1 for the black, which is a graphite. I used MCO3 for the greeny turquoise, and MCO2 for the like bluey aqua colour, so something completely different. So I have another piece of Carter. You can't tell I'm obsessed with Carter, can you? So this is the watercolour card, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself a background. Just hold my artwork in place like so, and I'm going to use a grey, DG03 grey. And this is going to create something in the background, but not something that's going to distract you or take your eye off my focal point, which is going to be the coloured image. So I'm going to get the stamp, and I'm going to try and focus on the floral element of it on my card. So I'm going to stamp it sort of off and on my page if I can get away with it. So let's budge this around a little bit. Yeah, we'll just go with a little bit of detail on there, simply because that is the one that I've stamped is such a big image, it's probably going to hide a lot of it. So we just need some detail around the edge. So again, I'm going to go with grey. Here we are. And I might have to stamp it twice, but we'll see how we go. I just want it to be an accent, nothing fancy. So let's see what happens. There we go, look, it's just enough detail. So let's move our card around a little bit. Let's get some detail in this corner here. So in effect, you're basically creating your own lovely backgrounds, which sometimes gets missed, doesn't it, when we're buying our stamps. Sometimes it's difficult to just go there like that. Perfect. Now you could colour these as well, but in the same colours as the ones that you've done on your main focal point, but in a very, very, very delicate colour, very, very light, if you wanted to, or you could just leave it like a bit monochromatic. So I'm happy with that, and I am absolutely going to leave that one. Just move this one out of the way. I'm just going to dry that off a little bit with my gun so I don't get any mucky prints. And what we're going to do next is I have some of this lovely like twine. It's a lot finer than twine though, baker's twine, but with a fine edge, should we say. I don't really know what it's called, to be honest, but it's fine. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it on here like so. I'm going to hold it in place with some tape. I will secure it better once I've got it down. I'm just going to hold it in place, say here, if my tape will allow. That's not sticking. Let's get some different tape. That's it. So it just gives me a little bit of a reference point, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it round, but I'm going to be quite random about it. So I don't want it all to be like maybe like that. You see that there? So it looks a bit random. And then what I'll do is I'll just grab another piece of tape. And I'll just hold all that in place with one strip of tape behind, so I know that it's not going to budge or fall to bits or anything like that. Tuck that in. We have this like embellishment happening at the base of our card. Can we see that there? But then what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to sort of like bring it together a little bit, and already ahead of time I've got this little bow which is made from the same stuff, and I'm just going to bring it all together now. But I don't want my bow to look like it's just been it's floating on that piece of like wraparound. So I've got a piece of just normal, and I'm just going to try and tuck it underneath if it allows. There we go. And I'm just going to tie it all together so it brings it to like a point. Can we see? Can we see that when you bring it together it brings it to like a point in the centre? This is going to be the ground for our lovely bow. Could do with another set of hands. There we go. Can you see that there? And then we're just going to trim that down a little bit, and it'll just look like extra legs from our little bow. Before I adhere the bow, I'm going to start constructing this lovely card. So I have a top folding note card. I've got some of the blue gossip this time. I'm just going to stick this flat. Let it grab. What I am going to do is, because of the makings behind here, look, you see that there? It's ugly, isn't it? But if I try and stick it flat, I'm going to have a big hump. So I am going to pad that. Traditionally I wouldn't, but I am going to in this card. So I'm just going to grab some pads. And people will never know about, you know, our makings behind then. I'll just move this out of the way. And then let's get our lovely bow on there. I'm just going to use some 3D gel, pin flare. Not too much. it will be ugly if you have loads on there. Just a little bit. And I'm just going to put this exactly where I did that little knot, and it will tie it all together. Can we see that there? So it don't look messy, and the twine brings your eye to that bow, doesn't it? So just food for thought, really. And then with this one that I pre-coloured, I would have popped a sentiment in there, but I haven't got one to hand. So I'm going to pop some pads behind here. I'm just going to go for it. So this is coming towards the end of our studio today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm so sorry about the gremlins, but we will be working on getting it sorted. And then this lovely embellishment that we coloured here, you could pop any, so just with what I was saying, it could go this way, could go this way, this way. So it's down to preference. I'm just going to go with this way, like so. And I like the overhang of the embellishments on there. Pop a sentiment in there, some sequins. It'll look absolutely gorgeous. I'd be pleased if somebody sent me that in the post, put it that way. So this is the last card. So we've done 3 demonstrations in total. I'm sorry there was a cut-off point, but you can go back and watch, obviously. 3 lovely makes, mine and Claire's products, all fabulous in their own right. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm so sorry about everything that's happened, but again, these things happen. It's live studio, it's live every week, and we will try and iron out those issues for next time we do it, if we do it. So I hope you've enjoyed it today. Pop me some comments, let me know if you have enjoyed it or if you're going to try the techniques. If you've already got the stuff, you could be cracking on right now. It's raining outside, so you can get them all out and have a play. So whatever you're doing, take care, have a great evening, and I will be back with you on Monday with something amazing to show you. Stay tuned. See you later, everyone. Bye.